Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. What I'm going to show you here is a little project I'm starting to work on, and I will upload multiple videos as I continue the project. I have to send a thanks to my inspiration for this individual on YouTube who is doing a raised bed and showing how that out of concrete and showing how to make that. So I took his concept that he had on YouTube and showed that, and I'm adapting it to the size and setup that I think is going to be best for me. I'm going to share the way I'm doing this stuff and everything that I'm installing. So to start with, I got a awesome deal on a piece of actually maple veneer 3/4 inch plywood that I'm going to use to make the forms for this concrete raised beds. So it's almost like a erector set when it's done. They interlocked and connect, and I'll add the link to the video to the individual in the comment section so you can see that. And he even sells plans and everything, so if you want to have everything done like that, you can. All I did was a couple frees of his video, a couple of Google searches of images, and it pulled out the plans that he had, or shots that showed me what I needed to do, and then I came up with my own dimensions because I wanted to build the raised beds at the dimensions I need, not necessarily the dimensions he was selling. I'm making the forms 4 feet wide, 10 inches tall. They're going to be 2.5 inches thick. They will have an inset, like an inlay, that's decorative, and you'll see that a little bit when they're done, or if you go look at his video. So the philosophy I have for doing projects like this is I like to keep things very simple. I like to do things in a way that don't cost very much money. I don't like to spend money on like fancy tools and a lot of materials that I don't need. And for example, like I said, I got a great deal on this piece of maple veneer plywood. I would have normally just used a standard 3/4 inch plywood for this. In fact, I was planning to use a 5/8 or a 1/2 inch even if I had to, but this sheet of plywood had a major gouge out of it on one side, and I got it for $7 at Menards. They wanted 20 for it, and I talked them down to 7. So you can always negotiate there, and that's one of the things I like about Menards. So what I'm doing right now is, in the video, I'm laying out the base of the template that I'm going to use, and you can see in the background there, that's one that I already created. So you can see the outline of the almost like a erector or Lego that's going to allow the forms to interconnect. And what you end up with there is you're going to build a frame, and then I'm going to build 2.5 inch high border around this that will be attached to that board, and then you can put concrete in there, use that metal mesh to reinforce the concrete, and then I'm going to put PVC. I'm using Schedule 80 PVC with a fiberglass rebar in the ends of the L part of the template there. So the little pipe will run through that PVC and interconnect the two pieces. With this design, you could make different shapes. I'm gonna plan to do 36 inch wide beds, and then I'm gonna run them 16 feet long each. But if I wanted to, I could do any combination. I could use the 36 inch forms I'm going to build, or the 48 inch forms, and do any shape. I could do a maze or whatever, outline and then inside. So it's really endless, the possibilities of this. So I felt like I could share what I'm doing with these projects as I'm doing them, and upload them to YouTube, and it'll have a dual purpose. I'm going to document how I'm doing this stuff and be able to share it with my family and stuff like that, and show my brother and my parents what I'm doing, and my kids down the road can watch this and see the things that I love to do, that I spend my time, my free time, just doing these projects like that. And second, to share with other people, to be able to show my ideas and how I'm doing things, and maybe even get that feedback from the YouTube community to say, hey, you're doing this wrong, or you should do this. Obviously, you filter all the haters, but what you come down to is then there are people out there who are watch this and say, you could do this, and that might help you. And I'm looking for that help, because a lot of times I'm, trying to be creative, or trying to find the way to do something where I don't have to spend $100 for a tool. So I want to keep things simple. So as you see, I'm working through that design, just laying it out. I will skip forward in the video, and you'll see that as I lay the one out, I will cut it to the size I want, and then I'm gonna lay the last one out. The key with these is they don't have to be perfect. It's not like every form, it's just a concrete form. So it doesn't have to be, to the 16th and right on the length and stuff like that. It just needs to be generally the same size, and that's the key with the layout, is that's where that will be versus the overall size of this template. It's 54 inches long, 16 inches wide, and then the form inside overall is 48 inches long and 10 inches tall. So that will let me have a border that I'll build and be able to fasten it to there, and pour that concrete into that shape, into that form. I'm going to seal this wood with polyurethane that I'm hoping will let me create multiple forms. I looked at using, I think it's called melamine, or it's like a press board with like a plastic veneer on it almost, or something like that. I'm not sure what it's really called, but in the end I didn't use that because I have to fasten these forms. I want to reuse these forms, so I want to be able to take the sides off and put them back on and do that multiple times, and I felt like that material wasn't going to hold up long term. Now I might find that that's what I need to go to, and at that point it wouldn't be that expensive to replace the base of this, what you see me laying out here, with that material, and then just use the edges. And my next thing I'll record is as I'm making the side rails and the edge rails. I'll put that into the video, and then as I go to pour and actually make these forms, I'll do the video of that as well. So this will be a multi-phased video. I'm not going to do everything all at one time and compile a big video. I'm going to upload 5, 10, 15 video clips of each part of this as I go, just documenting it. So I even compromised a little bit on the edges. I went to a 3-inch border. The design, the person I'm sort of stealing this from, did a bigger border around the edge, and I looked at that and said, well, if I keep my overall to 16 inches, keeping in mind I got the 1/8 inch for the saw cut, I'm going to end up being able to make 3 of these, and I'd much rather have that than just 2 and have that little piece of scrap. Now if I don't have enough to make all the forms around the edges, which I'm not going to out of all of this, because now I don't have the 54 inch, I'm going to make the long portions of the edge forms that are 54 inches out of the 1/2 inch that I have, and that should work fine. Those are fairly small. They're only going to be 2.5 inches tall, so it's not going to be a big deal. So yep, and then I'm going to lay out the last one here, and I will cut to the end and show you that last one.